Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's Alex Base here. Today I've got a very interesting budget device with some pretty good specs for the price. The Realme P3.
It's got a solid design and very good specs for the price.
Well, let's start with the build.
The screen is covered by glass and specified what make and model and a screen protector. The frame is plastic. The buttons are located on the right hand side, and we do have stereo speakers here along with a dual SIM card with eSIM support, very rare at this price point, and a memory expansion as well. The back is plastic too. Also, it's IP69 rated, which is fantastic for this budget class. The camera bump does not stick too much out. This is the 12GB of RAM and 512GB of storage, the European version as I call it. Ask AI about the existence of such a phone with that configuration and they'll tell you no such phone exists, which is pretty hilarious because it does exist. This is a real actual phone.
Moving on to the display, it's a pretty good 120Hz AMOLED screen with HDR support, even if it's not official.
It's a 6.67-inch AMOLED screen with Full HD resolution and not bad sharpness at 395 pixels per inch. There is HDR support on board and it's an 8-bit 60 million color screen. And there's an HDR button in the display settings to turn it on. It's been pretty rainy and gloomy here in Britain, so I couldn't test it to see if it is bright enough, but the brightness seems to be going high enough indoors. That's for sure through manual testing. Circling back to the HDR 10 Plus support, it's recognized as such by Amazon Prime and the colors and the contrast are nice. It's not the most accurate screen out there. For this price point, it is pretty good though. In YouTube, you can also stream HDR content in, of course, relevant videos. In the display settings, of course, you can choose between light and dark mode. I prefer dark mode and I think it's more power efficient as well. And there's one neat feature that you can adjust the lowest brightness level, and I think this is pretty cool and it is very helpful for your eyes as well. And just like on Oppo and OnePlus phones, you can choose between Vivid, Natural or Pro mode like Cinematic and Brilliant, and you can adjust the color temperature. There's also a AI comfort and that helps with the brightness and the dimming.
Next is the battery and the battery life, and in Europe it's got a 5260 milliamp hours, while around the world it's 6000 milliamp hour capacity, which is a bit bad for us, isn't it? Still 45 watt charging, which is pretty good for a budget device.
AI may not know this is 5260 milliamp hours, but still, as you can see, this is a battery for a light user for like 2 days. The screen on time is pretty good. You also have options in the battery app to restrict your charging if you're worried about the battery health. I wouldn't be worried really, but if you are, use any of those features. I did charge it with a standard 45 watt charger as there is none in the box, and in half an hour I got a respectable 59%. A full charge took approximately 1 hour and 3 minutes, and this is a good result for a budget phone, still faster than Samsung, iPhone and Pixels. Charging is good, but battery life is very good. And no matter if you're a light user, that will be a 2-day battery for you technically. A medium average user, that will be like a whole day. Or a heavy user, you have screen on time for like at least 6 hours and 15 minutes. And after heavy usage of Google Maps, phone calls, messages, WhatsApp, it's 6 hours and a half. It's not bad at all.
This phone is an absolute beast in terms of battery life. Moving on to the performance, the Realme P3 is powered by Qualcomm's 6th Gen 4.
It's a modern chipset based on a 4nm process. You can virtually expand the memory by up to 14 GB from the storage, and also you can turn the GT mode to make it as fast as possible in the battery settings. I turned the RAM expansion to the max on and I got very slight boost, not something to brag about or write home about really. However, when I turned the performance mode on, I got better scores than the Dimensity 7300. In Geekbench AI, I got better than average scores for a budget device in both CPU and GPU. In the 3D Mark stress test, I got pretty good results. In the Wildlife Extreme stress test, I got over 97% stability, which is excellent and expected. I could not run the Solar Bay stress test or the Solar Bay Basic, as it is customary for weak chipsets like the 6th Gen 4. So I did the Steel Nomad test and it returned pretty good results. Again, similar to the Wildlife stress test, over 97%. I got 3,987 points in the Geekbench 6 Vulkan, and I also was very happy with the performance under stress by the 6th Gen 4.
Very good performance for this budget class.
Now moving on to software and a new haircut.
Yeah, that's not too bad, is it?
Realme P3 runs on Realme UI 6.0 on top of Android 15.
There was a bit of a question mark regarding the software update policy, but I think I got my answer a couple of days ago when I got an update.
You see, I was stuck with the June security update for a few weeks, and only last month I got the September update. Apparently it's gonna be quarterly support every 3 months from Realme. And as many other phones, not just budget phones but also mid-rangers, there are a lot of pre-installed apps. The good news is you can uninstall almost all of them and then you can do some customization. Realme UI is not exactly the most customizable software, but there are still options for the wallpapers, the edge lighting, the colors, the icons and a few other things. There is also an always-on display. The great news is that the phone actually supports all the major Bluetooth codecs for high resolution audio. That's very, very rare at this price point. And the other great news is, along with the dual SIM card, you also have micro SD slot for memory expansion and eSIM support, which is fantastic for a budget device. There is NFC on board, as well as an option to share it with an iPhone or a computer. However, one thing that there isn't on board is Ultra HDR support in the Google Photos app. Another good news is that Google's Gemini is available too. Two cool features have made a comeback in the Realme Lab. One is the heart measurement, and you can place your finger on the fingerprint scanner and hold it for a few seconds and it's going to measure your heart rate. And the other one is called dual mode audio. So you can basically pair earbuds wirelessly via Bluetooth and another pair of earbuds through a wired connection at the same time, which is pretty cool. One thing that wasn't that cool initially was the fact that there are ads in the Phone Manager app. However, the good news is you can turn them off and you can press the three dots on the top right and then find where the ads are and switch them off, and you won't see any more ads in the app or on the phone. Kudos!
Now let's wrap it up with the camera, and it's only one camera on the back. Nonetheless, it is a capable snapper.
It looks like two cameras, but it's only one 50 megapixel snapper with 4K video. On the front we've got a 16 megapixel snapper with full HD video at 30 frames per second only. Camera app is pretty straightforward. Of course, you've got the main one and you've got 2x zoom and 5x zoom as well. They're of course digital, not optical. And you've got the default mode here, which is original, and shooting that one. If you want to change it, it's too punchy colors for you or anything, you can use the natural one, for example, go like this, and the difference in the quality is just the colors, as you can see, but still makes a difference. Same goes for the selfie camera and the video. The video can do 4K 30 frames per second. However, if you changed it to a different mode, let's say you filter it to any other mode, it goes to 1080p 30 frames per second, so no 4K video on it. Another one you've got is the Pro mode. It's JPG or JPEG, of course, and you can do RAW mode as well. So this is going to bypass the Realme processing, and you can shoot and see what the sensor is capable on its own. I suggest you only use this one during daytime, not at night. Another mode there is here, by the way, is street mode, which is pretty interesting, and you can zoom it in. It's not something interesting, to be honest, but still. And of course you've got in more the actual panel and high resolution, which is 50 megapixel one if you want to do it underwater. If you want to shoot, because it's IP69 rating, you can do it, which is excellent. Let's start with the daytime selfies, and the detail is pretty good for a phone at this price point. I was quite happy with the detail in my face and also with the colors, the dynamic range and the background. The portrait shots also turn out better than I expected. I did those selfies in the original mode, however I tried a couple of the other modes as well, natural, serenity and vivid, and the results of course are varying. If they're any good for you, well, you will decide that. It depends on your personal taste. Then again, it's always good to have options, right? The shots from the main only cam on the back are very solid. The colors are nice. The high dynamic range is decent. The contrast is also very decent, and I was quite happy with the performance throughout the day. There was also a consistency in the performance from shot to shot, which is very rare at this price point. There are two toggles to play with. One is 2x digital zoom, the other one is 5x digital zoom. The 5x digital zoom is not usable really, it's very fuzzy, and the 2x is usable most of the time. Again, I tried different modes to see the results, and they're not too bad actually. Again, they depend on your personal taste, and again, it's good to have options. I did some more shots from the 2x and 5x zoom shots for you to decide if they are good enough. I think the 5x zoom shot is useless. The 2x is usable from time to time, but then again, you can decide for yourselves. Have a look and you can leave a comment as well. Night selfies, just like the daytime selfies, are very solid, and portrait shots are also pretty good. The separation of the subject in those portrait shots is nice. The colors are on point and the detail is preserved somehow as well. I didn't have high expectations from the main camera to perform well at night, but I have to say that those photos turn out to be quite decent. And as you can see, the colors are not exactly accurate and there is a little bit of noise in them, but overall for a phone at this price point, the results are nice and pretty usable. And again, the 2x digital zoom shots can give you some usable results in good lighting conditions, and the 5x digital zoom is useless. And now let's finish it off with the video, and the video turned out to be not half bad, especially for a phone at this price point. This is the selfie video. It's limited to 1080p 30 frames per second, but overall, as you can see, the quality is not bad at all for such a budget device. It's actually quite solid, and the stabilization is also decent. Alrighty guys, this is 1080p 30 frames per second. That's the highest that you can use on the
Realme P3. It's not terribly bad, but it's not any good either, is it?
Well, there you have it, folks. The Realme P3 offers quite a bit for this low price, and I think it is a very, very solid budget blower. Is it good enough for you? Well, at the end of the day, you decide. I'm Alex Bass, and see you next time. Ciao!